Hi students, coming to the next topic in the subject database management system is attributes. Attributes are nothing but these are the properties which define the entity type. So let me write attributes or the properties which define entity type. Or entities are represented by means of their properties is called attributes. This is the definition of the attributes. So here, what are these entity type and entities? So before going to know about the definition, what exactly the attribute is, let us see what is an entity first. So this is the basic concept. What is an entity? Entity may be an object. It may be an object with physical existence, or it may be an object with conceptual existence. That you call it as an entity. So this is the definition of an entity. Entity is an object with physical existence or with conceptual existence. Physical existence is nothing but, it may be, examples for this is a person, car, house. These are the physical existence. A person is there. I'm the person. You're seeing me. A car is a thing. You are seeing that car. That is a physical existence. A house you are seeing and you are living in it. So that is a physical existence. Then this you call it as an entity. A person, car, house is an entity. An entity is also, you call it as a conceptual existence. What is this conceptual existence? Conceptual existence means a company. A company, you call it as an entity. Means it's a name. It is an entity. It's having group of things in the company, group of people in the company. A job, different jobs will be there. That you call it as an entity. University. So in university, set of fields, set of departments will be there. Different departments will be there. So these are also called as entities. So the entity may be a physical existence or a conceptual existence. An object with physical existence, an object with a conceptual existence. That you call it as an entity. Then what is an entity type? Entity type is nothing but you are giving a name to an object. An entity of an object. An entity is an object of entity type. What is an entity set then? So before going to know about the attributes definition, you have to know these terms: entity, entity type, and entity set. Entity set is nothing but set of all entities. A group of entities, you call it as entity set. Okay. Suppose here entity type. So entity type. So is a student. A student is an entity. So it may be one entity type. So entity type, student is one entity. Teacher is one entity. Professor is one entity of entity type. Okay. So this is an entity type. Here the student. E1, E2, E3. So suppose E1 is a student and E1 is an entity, you call it as, having entity type student and a set of all students, E1, E2 or the set of students that are forming this, you call it as entity set. Set of all students is called entity set. So this is the diagrammatic representation. Entity, entity type, entity set. Now see the definition of the attribute. So what attribute saying? Entities are represented by means of their properties is called attribute. So let us take here an entity is a, let me write. So attribute, I am saying that entities are represented by means of their properties is called attribute. So let us take the example. Suppose the roll number, name, date of birth, age, address, or the attributes, or all the attributes which define entity type student. So one of the entity type is the student is an entity type. A student is an entity, you call it as, it is one of the entity type. This student is having it represents by means of their properties. The student is represented by means of their properties, you call it as attributes. That is the definition. So here the student is represented. How you can say he is a student? The student can be represented by means of their properties. These are the properties. Okay, so roll number, name, date of birth, age, and address. These are all, you call it as this is attributes. So here an entity, this is an entity type. This entity are represented by means of their properties. So with the help of these properties, we can say he is a student. A student, roll number, name, date of birth, age, address. Okay. So this is about this attributes. So these are all the attributes. The attributes are connected to the entities. And one thing you have to be noted here is, there exists a domain or range of values that can be assigned to attributes. So here, whatever the attribute you are taken, these attributes will exist within a domain, or it's having some range of values. So only in that range of values they can be they can be assigned to attributes. So let us take the example. Suppose if you take the student name, a student name cannot be numeric. So whenever you mention the student name, the data type should be a character. It is not an integer. So the student name should be declared with the data type character. It cannot be numeric. So the student is an entity, is having the set of properties. Okay. So means the attributes will exist a domain or a range of values. So within that range of values only they can be assigned. In the same way, the age, if you take the age cannot be negative. You have to be while you're declaring the attributes, you have to think about the data types, what data types you are using for that attributes, means the fields. Here the age, whenever you mention the age, you have to be careful while you are declaring the data age. So age cannot be negative. So this is about the attributes. Thank you.